Hi guys, we're going to take a little bit of a review. We're talking about three components of this unit, which talks about rates, ratios, and proportions. And so I know this says quiz review. I'm not really worried about that, but I wanted something short that had some examples that we could use in there. So first of all, this starts out and talks about they want us to write each ratio as a fraction in simplest form. Now just remember, whenever they're talking about simplest form, that means that you have to take that fraction and you have to reduce it. So you have to be able to kind of be able to check yourself and make sure you've got it as reduced as you can. If you're not really good at reducing, I can give you some hints as we go through this to kind of help you out as well. Okay, so all of this ratio section right here is going to use this little table on the side. So I have 7th and 6th graders that are split into boys and girls. And so I'm going to use kind of those ideas in order to be able to, get the information I need to make my ratios. So this first one says 7th grade boys to 6th grade boys. Now, whatever gets mentioned first goes in the top of the fraction. So that means 7th grade boys are going to go on the top. And 6th grade boys come second, so that's going to go on the bottom. Now, I think it's helpful to put your information here because honestly, if you do this, that makes it easier to know what information to put there. So if I go to this table and I look for 7th grade boys, that's going to be right here. So that's going to be 26. And if I'm looking for 6th grade boys, I'm going to go right here and that's going to be 30. Okay, so if you're looking at this and you have 26 over 30, they're both even, which means that 2's will go into both of them. So I could reduce them both by dividing both of them by 2. So 26 divided by 2 is 13, and 30 divided by 2 is going to be 15. Now, 13 and 15 don't have anything else in common, so that's my final ratio. Okay, now for the next one, it's 7th grade girls. So 7th girls over 6th grade boys. So 7th grade girls is going to be right here. That's going to be 34. And 6th grade boys is going to be this 30. Okay, so I know both of those have a 2 that'll go into both of them. So if I reduce them both by 2, it's going to be 17 over 15. And 17 and 15 don't have anything more in common that you can pull out. So that's going to be my final answer. Now, if you're somebody who's not very good at reducing, there is a free app that is called Desmos that you can download. It's a graphing calculator. Or if you go to www.desmos.com, that calculator you can use as well. You can use it right on your actual phone or your iPad or Chromebook, whatever you have. So I just want to give you an idea of how this works. So that last problem that we just did, we had 7th grade girls that were on the top of that. So that was 34. So I do 34. I'm going to hit divide. And then there were 30 6th grade boys. So you'll notice here it gives you this little decimal answered on the side. But if you notice in front of the problem, it's got a little blue area with a little circle. It looks like a little blank fraction there. So if you click on that, it will actually reduce the fraction for you. So if you need some help doing that, feel free to go ahead and use Desmos. Either open another tab in your computer and do www.desmos.com or download the free app depending on what kind of device you have. Okay, let's go to the next one. So the next one is 7th graders and 6th graders. So you'll notice on this one, there's absolutely no girls or boys talked about. So that means it's basically going to be all the 7th grade over all the 6th grade. Now, to get a total for all of the 7th grade, the 7th grade is made up of boys and girls. These are all 7th graders. So if I take these two and add them together, then that will give me my total for how many are in that grade altogether. So that means there's going to be 60 altogether in 7th grade. There's your top number. And on the bottom, to get your total for 6th graders, you're going to add both these together. So 30 plus 22 is 52, and that goes in the bottom here. Now, you can either go through and reduce it by hand, or I'm going to pull Desmos up and use it again. So I have 60 divided by 52. And again, it gives me all those decimal numbers. So I'm going to go in the front of the problem where that little blue line is, and I'm going to hit the little circle for the fraction. So that reduces down to 15 over 13. Now the good news is Desmos goes all the way to the final answer, so you don't have to worry about reducing any more after that. Okay, the next one says boys to girls. So boys and then girls. So we have a little bit of an issue in this one because they want all the boys. So we know all the boys happen in this column. So if I want to know the total of the boys, I would have to total those together. So I'm going to add them up. So 26 and 30 is going to be 56. That's the boys. To do the girls, I'm going to do the same thing, total that column. So 34 and 22. So it'll be 56. Now we know 56 over 56 is just going to be equal to 1. Okay, we have one more to consider here in this ratio section. Girls to all students. So I just did the total for girls. We just said the total girls was 56. Now to do all students, that means I would have to take these two and I would have to add them up because the boys and the girls together would give me that total. So it's going to be 112. So now I'm going to go to Desmos and put that in. So 56 divided by 112. And then hit that little circle where the blue is at the front. So it reduces to 1/2. Okay, we're going to pause a little bit here and then I'm going to come back and we'll talk about the unit rate.